Go ahead.
When you think about magic mushrooms, I'm assuming your mind takes you to an Alice in Wonderland type of hallucinogenic journey. What if I told you it's time to forget what you think you know and start thinking about shrooms and magic mushrooms as a type of medication? My name is Emily Rooney, and I'm here to tell you about why psychedelics should be used for mental health treatment and addiction recovery. I started to learn about this through a documentary called Dosed. It follows a girl named Adrienne as she tries to battle her heroin addiction through the use of different psychedelics. I'll talk about it more later, but it opened up a whole new field of research for me, and I started to do a lot of reading on the topic. Today I'll be discussing what are psychedelics, shrooms and depression, and iboga and addiction. First, I'm going to talk about shrooms or magic mushrooms. The active ingredient in shrooms is called psilocybin. It works with the brain, and when a human ingests it, it turns into psilocin. It then connects with the serotonin in the brain and can cause really intense hallucinations, according to ASAP Science. Some people report having really intense feelings of self-love as they take these drugs, while other people report coming face to face with their inner demons. Dennis McKenna, the director at the Hefter Institute, which specializes in the potential therapeutic uses of psychedelic medicines, compares shrooms to SSRIs. SSRI is a type of antidepressant that blocks the reuptake of serotonin, which increases the amount present in the synapse and magnifies its effects. He calls these band-aids because they don't deal with the deeper issue, they just mask the side effects of what people dealing with depression and PTSD are going through. According to the Imperial College London, which houses one of the leading clinical trials in this field, they attribute the success of using shrooms as an antidepressant to the psilocybin reconnecting and repairing tainted brain connections. This trial works with people who have been clinically depressed for many years, and their depression has been called untreatable because they've tried so many different options. And they're showing some success, but they're still in the very early stages of development. So like I said earlier, these drugs are illegal and can be very dangerous. This drug is called iboga. It's a shrub that's native to a region in West Africa and has been attributed to helping people kick addiction habits. It works by binding to the serotonin and dopamine in the brain and helping to level them out, which causes people to have a less painful withdrawal through their drugs. In the documentary Dosed, directed by Tyler Chandler, the story follows a girl named Adrienne as she's trying to kick her heroin habit. In the beginning of the documentary, she's heavily addicted to heroin, using many times a day, trying to kick it, but nothing's working. She's tried conventional rehabs, but it's not working for her. And so she finds these people, and they're trying to do a documentary on her and trying to give her shrooms a few times to kick the habit. But as that's not working, she finds this drug called iboga. She goes to an underground treatment center, and they perform a ritual, and they give her this drug, and in the morning she wakes up and she feels like she's a child again. And then through the next few days, she starts to come back to herself and grow into herself. And then she's ready to take the drug again. She does it again, and the side effects are less extreme. And then she does it a third time, and she's ready to kick her heroin habit. A year after she's taken the iboga treatment, she had felt no need to use and hadn't relapsed since, which is something that she hadn't been able to do in years. Based off this, looking at overdose rates involving opioids in the United States, you can see how much of an issue we have with different types of opioids. If a drug like iboga was able to help people combat their addictions in a healthy way, then it could change the trajectory of how drugs are seen in the United States. What we need to do is have Western medicine work with Eastern medicine and come up with a solution that will help everyone to combat their addictions. I hope by today you've opened your mind a little bit to how people are using psychedelics in other ways and how the benefits of them can be useful and they're not all just recreational. Thank you. Yeah. The first one.
Okay, so can you overdose on iboga like you can overdose on like heroin?
No, most psychedelics are like you can't overdose on them, But with Iboga, it can have other devastating physical effects. So like Adrienne, when she took it, she had to go through 2 weeks of being monitored constantly with an EKG to make sure that she was physically fit and able to take this drug, because it can be very dangerous, which is why it's illegal.
Okay, so can you ever see there being like a switch where rehab centers are offering like Iboga treatments instead of like what they're doing now that's like clearly not working?
The optimist in me says yes, because I think that this is a drug that can help a lot of people, but also these rehab centers are profiting off of people going back and back because it's not working and it doesn't stick for them. So part of me thinks that yes, this is the future of it, but part of me also thinks that people aren't going to develop where there's no money.
Mm-hmm.